This is the MBA Wire episode 14. Did you know that all the clocks in the movie Pulp Fiction are stopped at 4:20? Go check them out, see if I'm wrong.
Inspirational MBA talk with successful alumni to motivate you during your application run. We go behind the scenes of every story, talk business, and show you why it's worthwhile to never give up on your MBA dream. And now, here's your host with the most, Mateo Chang.
What's up, citizens of the Wire? Welcome back to this week's episode of the MBA Wire. Just really thrilled to be able to do this, and I just want to thank all you guys. I've been getting some great feedback from different parts of the world, and that's just such an amazing feeling. And just want to let you guys know that I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending your time with listening in on this podcast. And I'll, my promise to you is to continue to try and provide, inspiring stories and impactful information as best as possible. All right, let's jump right into this. Today's episode is going to be just me. I'm here to talk about some essay tips. Round one is coming up for most of the schools, and many of you students out there are applying and doing the deadline rush thing right now. So I want to talk about some essay questions from top schools and insights on how you can write them. Essays, essays are a very important part of the application process. Even straightforward questions, they require a very deep self-awareness of your personality and your professional history. So if you haven't started yet, here are a couple of things you can do before to help you through this difficult few months. Okay. First, you need to consider your career path and then brainstorm on your accomplishments, your experiences, both professional and personal, some positive and negative feedbacks that you've received, challenges that you faced, and more importantly, how you overcame them. Include also international experiences and even enlightening aha moments. Okay. Now, the important thing is to make sure that you include details about how you overcame the difficulty or why you made a specific decision or what you learned from a failure, right? Now, next thing you can do is make like a bullet point top hits list, right? You need to show what really makes you stand out from other professionals. I know it's not easy to talk about yourself in an esteemed way. It may even seem like, borderline boastful, but it is necessary to have a list of your amazing accomplishments so that you can present yourself as a candidate who will bring, diversity and a vast background of positive experiences that will contribute to the community, both inside and outside of the classroom. Okay. Now, develop a strategy that works for you. Okay. Some people are more productive in the morning. Others, they're more productive in the wee hours of the night, like myself. I'm actually recording this at 2:30 a.m. So, you just got to figure out what works for you. Okay. But commit a few hours to organize, to develop, and to write your essays, on a daily basis so that you don't get overwhelmed when the deadlines are fast approaching. Okay. This is not something you want to rush. Also try to find a tool like mind mapping tool. I like Simple Mind and Free Mind. These tools will help you organize your story, and it'll give you a better picture of ways that you can make the links between your career path with your strengths and weaknesses and your future goals. Okay. Once you begin to write, though, don't try to be a perfectionist about it. A lot of writers hit a block here. Because, you want to write a perfect sentence right off the bat, but that's not how it works. The best thing is to do is just type away, get your story out there because you can always go back and review and edit out your story so that you have more time and you have a better idea. The important thing is to get your story out there. You must do your research. Okay. This is the key element of writing a really good essay. You must do the research. You need to know the culture of the school that you're applying to, and then also tailor your essay towards what that specific school is looking for in students. There are givens like leadership, teamwork, abilities, communication skills, and even work ethics. But even with these key features, you cannot be generic about it, okay? I provide interview coaching to many, many students, and a lot of them are engineering majors. And I guarantee you, every one of them lists their strengths as, strong analytical ability. This is fine, but it's not enough, okay? There needs to be something specific and unique about this analytical ability that surpasses the analytical ability of another person. Providing examples, details, experiences, and results all help, but still, again, it's not enough. You need to ask yourself the question, in this specific strength, whether it's a strong leadership profile, proficient communication skills, deep knowledge in a certain subject, are you really revealing a different part of yourself, who you are? It's good to tie a lot of these qualities with like past experiences. I can remember a candidate who actually grew up with 4 older brothers, but today he's first in line to head his family business as CEO. And in his story, he attributed his strong leadership skills to a personal story of when his brothers actually looked up to him, to the youngest one, to make some difficult family decisions. And that was amazing. Do your research and be specific. Now, one last thing is to review. Okay, once you've done your essays, go back and review. Make sure, for example, your school names are correct. Make sure your story is straight. It might be funny, but yes, students have written wrong school names in their essays because basically you get a student who's applying to 4 or 5 schools. Some of the questions you can kind of copy paste over to the other one, but if you forget to change the school name, that's a big problem. How would you feel like if your girlfriend or your boyfriend, wrote you a long, personal, romantic, and sincere letter, but instead of your name, your best friend's name is there? Yeah, schools have feelings too. You have to consider that they want awesome candidates that will diversify and stimulate an environment of cutting-edge knowledge and once-in-a-lifetime experiences, very much like a relationship. So their passion to provide you with an amazing experience and your passion to pursue one, they're going to build upon each other. And this symbiotic relationship will just get better and better. But since you're going to be spending 2 years together, wouldn't you want someone to be with someone who knows your name, right? So get the school name right. I guess that's the most basic thing I can say right now. If you're at home right now, best thing you can do is to bust out those application questions, the essay questions, and just follow along. Take a few notes. I'm going to be very brief for every question, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But if you do some research online, they have even examples of how you can answer each question. All right, so let's take a look at some of the essay questions that you'll find in the 2014-2015 application season. Today, I'm just going to focus on 6 schools: Dartmouth Tuck, Chicago Booth, Michigan Ross, London Business School, Duke Fuqua, and Kellogg. All right. Next week, I'll talk about essay questions from other top MBA programs, and I'm splitting this up into 2 episodes, because there's a lot of information, and I know you want to take notes and review this again when you have a pen and paper or a laptop handy. So Dartmouth Tuck. The Tuck School of Business, at Dartmouth, has a small student body, but it's equipped with the top tier faculty, and also they have an academic rigor that really matches many of the bigger, more popular schools. And the most amazing thing about Tuck is their family-like environment. Students leave Tuck with new brothers and sisters. It's not just a networking. And so while you're writing your essay for Tuck, you need to be able to consistently show how you fit with the school's values of leadership, teamwork, collaboration, and how you can bring your own unique qualities and experiences to the community. There's an emphasis on the contributions to community because, they have a really tight-knit community. So the fit is very important. Now, this year, Tuck decreased its number of required essays from 3 to 2. They kept the core topic of leadership and your goals and fit with the Tuck MBA. Now, each essay has an encouraged word limit, so that way they can guide you better to provide a more direct response. This means that you need to be able to present the meaningful features of your profile. Specifically, choose your words very carefully and be efficient in your writing. So let's take a look at essay question number 1. Why is an MBA a critical step toward your short and long-term career goals? Why is Tuck the best MBA fit for you and your goals? And why are you the best fit for Tuck? So here it's kind of straightforward, the first part of the question. You need to outline your short and long-term career goals. Short-term goals are usually considered immediately after graduation. Long-term goals, usually 10 to 20 years after your MBA. The thing is, you need to have a clear line of reasoning, a straight arrow from your past to the future that intersects with your reasons for an MBA. Now, the second question is a 2-part question. They want to know why Tuck is the best MBA fit for you and vice versa. So let's take a look. Why is Tuck the best MBA for you? They want to check the ideal fit between you and the school. Okay, they want to know the reasons that Tuck will be the best of your options. So you need to focus on what is unique to Tuck and what Tuck has to offer you. These features have to be relevant to your goals, your background, and your interests. So be specific and show a clear connection between them. Now, this second part, why are you the best fit for Tuck? They flip the table here. Now, you have to consider that your fit with Tuck will have some sort of impact. Because of something unique at Tuck, I will be able to be successful in this, and that. Tie this in with your future goals and identify the things about Tuck that will bring value to your skill set, and that will ultimately translate that into success. So do your research, and as a basic guideline, if whatever information you find is on their website, then it may be too generic. You're not providing any new information about yourself. Essay number 2, tell us about your most meaningful leadership experience and what role you played. What did you learn about your own individual strengths and weaknesses through this experience? You got to think about situations that clearly reveals your own strengths and weaknesses, and leadership opportunities that provided a deeper understanding of yourself and of others. Have results like the definition of your strengths or an improvement in your weaknesses. And this experience can actually be from either work or a community involvement, since Tuck believes that great leadership can be accomplished in the pursuit of business and societal goals. Okay. Now understand that their definition of leadership is very collaborative. So team-based experiences are great examples here in this question. Essay number 3. Please provide any additional insight or information that you have not addressed elsewhere that may be helpful in reviewing your application. Complete this question only if you feel your candidacy is not fully represented by this application. All right. Now, here you can discuss weaknesses or gaps in your work experiences. You should focus on explaining them rather than making excuses. But note this, you need to use your judgment about what you write here, because they only want you to complete this question if you feel your candidacy was not fully represented. You will be tempted to just add in a strong essay from another school here, but don't. Resist that temptation. Submit an essay here only if your candidacy truly needs it. All right, let's check out Chicago Booth. Okay, Chicago Booth is a consistently rated, it's a school that's consistently rated in the top tier of MBA programs in the United States. And they are known for a strong intellectual community, right? In their application process, they want to evaluate your ability to handle their curriculum, how you're going to contribute to this community, and how they will provide you with the tools you need to grow and be successful in your careers. Now, this year, they took out all length restrictions. Before, they had a 4-slide or a 600-word maximum limit for the application, but today the length is up to your best judgment. Be careful here. You don't want it to be too long. If you choose the presentation route, it will give you a lot of freedom to kind of play with timing and impact and momentum. But understand that Chicago is looking for, your leadership, your team building skills, and involvement in the community, and more importantly, as well as your fit and the perspective or the point of view that you will share with your classmates. If you have a track record of successes, expectations for the MBA, and even plans for the future, those are great to include as well. But keep your presentation simple, all right? Simple and assertive, impactful. Focus on your content first rather than your delivery. And then you work on the presentation with, visually captivating photos and drawings, but you have to keep it within context. Okay. Now, if you do go through the essay format, keep in mind what Chicago booth really represents. They have a long-standing tradition of intellectual rigor and non-conformity. Here's the thing, non-conformity. So you need to think outside just the basic guidelines and consider even examples for travel experiences and unique relationships or situations that you've been through in your life. You want them to think about you. It's not about the school, it's about you. They want to get to know you better. The question for this presentation essay is basically Chicago booth values adventurous inquiry, diverse perspectives, and a collaborative exchange of ideas. This is us. Who are you? So the question is, who are you? You need to present the most essential features of who you are so that the school can know you better. And here it is very, very important to be genuine, sincere, honest. Okay? Don't try to make up stories to get your way into the school. Okay? Tailor your story to revealing more of yourself. Michigan Ross. Now, the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan is actually going smaller with their required responses. Just like it's a trend this year that many of the schools are going, for briefer and more direct approach to your profile. So you have to think really carefully about what you're going to say and the impression that you want to make. Here in Michigan Ross, they're going to ask you to describe 2 points of pride. It's going to be one personal and one professional. So you have to have complementary examples that showcase different skills, characteristics, and values so that you can draw a full picture between them, right? Now, find examples that show your collaboration and your involvement in your community. So that way you can demonstrate your fit with the Ross student body, okay, with the Ross community. Just on a side note here, fit is probably one of the most important aspects for every school. Okay, that's the matchmaking part of an MBA program. So whatever school you're applying to, you must know how you're going to fit. So essay number 1, what are you most proud of professionally and why? What did you learn from that experience? You can actually go 2 ways with this one. It's either you go with a task-oriented approach or something a little bit more thematic. But you want to talk about a single clear accomplishment and how you got to it. Okay, it's about the way you got to it. Describe your actions and your results. So talk about the things that follow that theme that you want to address. You can include your impact on the team or the company, even you highlight a change in your career path or your persistence and resilience, your determination whenever you are overcoming challenges and obstacles. A good response here will describe your accomplishment or the situation, but at the same time, you have to show how you're proud of that achievement and what you took away from that experience. If you have lessons that were applied in later situations that are related to your plans for an MBA or part of your future career goals, then definitely add that as well. All right, essay number 2. What are you most proud of personally and why? And this is very similar to question number 1, but you can focus on your accomplishments here. Personal would be anything outside of work. So community service activities, aspects of your family life, or anything that's truly personal that made a significant impact on the people around you. talk even about like a pivotal moment in your life, how you learned a new skill or you committed to something great. This question is very broad. You have to understand it's not really about the size of the accomplishment. It's not. It's more about your passion and your commitment to it, your well-intended desire to impact those around you. Explain how this accomplishment, this achievement has shaped who you are. So you need to be able to narrate and tell your story and keep it captivating. All right, London Business School. Okay, London Business School, their questions will focus on your career vision in a broader sense. And their emphasis will be on your timing for an MBA, like why now? Okay. You should definitely speak with alumni to get a better feel for a London Business School fit. It is a very internationally diverse and has a world-class faculty. I mean, a London Business School is international. They are at the center of it. It's going to be a cultural ride through history with a focus on future and global collaboration. So it will be a top choice for those who want to kind of get away from the United States and pursue their MBA in Europe. Question number 1 asks, please discuss your career progress to date and explain why now is the right time to undertake an MBA at London Business School. See, very first question, they come right out and they ask you, why is it the right time? It's a straightforward question, but there is a clean divide between career progress and why now. You want to balance your answer out. Go for roughly 300 words for career progress and a little bit less than 200 words for why now, to keep within the 500 word limit. London Business School really cares about your experience more than most of the United States schools. So you need to know things like, why you decided to change jobs or what drove you to start in a different industry. You have to be able to explain between the lines of your resume. It's not just kind of talking about what you did. It's why and how. You also need to know why and how the London Business School is going to be the bridge between your past and your future. All right, question number 2. Where do you see your career progressing 5 years after graduation? And what is your longer term career vision? Remember what I said, career vision? So this is very important. Your short term would mean definitely anytime after graduating to 5 years after. You need to know exactly what you're aiming for and also the strategies you have to achieve your goals. As for the longer term vision, you want it to be something achievable and something that provides continuity from your 5-year plan. Now, 300 words is very little room for deep reflection and explanation, so really get to the point. You can spend about 150 to 175 words on your 5-year plan, and then 1 or 2 sentences maximum of where you're going with it for the long term. Then explain the how with 150 to 175 words. That way you can explain your reasoning and your support from your past decisions. Question 3, give a specific example of when you had to test your leadership and team working skills. Given this experience, what role will you play in a first-year study group? The key word here is test. If your leadership and team working skills were tested, that means there was a chance you could have failed. So take 3 steps here. It's situation, action, results. You're going to write about your situation, about the action that you took, and the results. If you were successful, what was it about your profile that played a role in this success? But if you failed, what did you learn and how have you addressed this failure or the weakness? How have you improved this weakness? The second part is, what role will you play in a first-year study group? Will you be a leader? Will you be someone who provides collaboration? Then your story, for the specific example, it needs to prove this role that you'll play in your study group. Question 4. Student involvement is an extremely important part of the London Business School MBA experience, and this is reflected in the character of students on campus. Please describe how you will contribute to student clubs and the community and why. Here in this question, it's not going to be enough to say how much you will enjoy the wine club. it's not about touchy-feely feelings either. You want to think metrics, proof of what you can bring. It's not really accomplishments, but say maybe you always had a desire to participate in an outreach program for the needy. How will you be able to do that with your amazing analytical abilities? What results do you plan on achieving? It's not an easy question to answer, so it takes a lot of reflection. But your contributions must make sense with the rest of the application as a whole. So think business plan and convince the London Business School that you are worth investing in, because the community and the campus will benefit from your addition to it. But what will they benefit exactly? That's what you need to show. Question 5. London Business School offers a truly global and diverse experience. Describe any significant experiences outside of your home country or culture. What did you gain, and how will your experience contribute to London Business School? All right. London Business School is as international as an MBA gets, okay? It is arguably the spinal cord of international. So your international experience cannot be superficial. It needs to be deep, okay? You need to show diversity, show how you understand the connection of your experiences with the realities of a global business, and your international experience needs to reflect on that. So really consider this to show your international profile. Do not be superficial with this. And question number 6, considering what you have already included in the application, what else would you like to tell us about yourself? You can approach this question however you like. Okay, so if there's a weakness you need to address, no leadership skills or no community service, a lack of something or a gap, this is where you do it. A different way to approach this is to talk about something that's unique, that's just extremely your own. Were you an MMA fighter? Or, there has to be something that's going to really, really be unique and stand out. It has to be unique. You don't want to list, just another experience. Okay, this needs to be unique. It needs to have an X factor. Maybe you were on X Factor. It's a pretty cool experience that you want to talk about. Okay, Duke Fuqua, Durham, North Carolina. Yeah, my favorite place in the whole wide world is Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's right next door to Durham. I mean, it's just beautiful and very powerful in the sense of quality of life and education. It's just an area and environment that's just captivating and contagious. I seriously want to retire in North Carolina. It's beautiful there. So anybody looking for an amazing quality of life, Duke is the place to be. So Duke has a few short answer questions. They're about 50 words long. Your answer needs to be about 50 words long. Question number 1, what are your short-term goals post-MBA? It's just a straight arrow here. Very straightforward answer. What are your long-term goals? Number 2, as always, don't just focus on like a title or position. Give like your intended result for that position, the effect that you're going to have as a CEO on the population, in the society, on the business, in the business world, okay? It's not just, I want to become CEO. Number 3, life is full of uncertainties and plans and circumstances can change. As a result, navigating a career requires you to be adaptable. Should the short-term goals that you provided above not materialize, what alternative directions have you considered? Here's the time to show how flexible you are, showing how you can figure it out on the fly, okay? It's not having a contingency plan. This is like instinct, how you would react and pivot depending on the situation. So kind of try to show how different paths will work, but show them that you are able to really make that change should your short-term goals not materialize. Get to the point on all 3 of these. You need to get straight to the point. Now, the longer essays, there is one, essay number 1. It is a very long question, but I am just going to ask the last part of it. Share with us your list of 25 random things about you. Okay, now if you have the questions out in front of you, or if you look up online for the school questions, you will notice that the word you is all in capital. You need to present your response in a list form or a bullet point form. numbered 1 to 25. Some of them may have only a few words and others may be longer, but your complete list should not exceed 2 pages. Now, in order to answer this, you think about what Team Fuqua, the spirit in the community, what they're looking for. What they want is they want to get to know you. They want to know who you are. They want to know what happened in your life that helped shape you. And you have to be able to answer this question with some interesting, insightful stuff. There is a deep self-analysis that is required. You can get creative with it, all right? Have fun with it. Be revealing. Talk about things no one knows about you. My best suggestion here is, list out these 25 interesting things about you and have a close friend or relative read it out and see their reaction to see, if there's 1 or 2 items that, that really don't stand out. You want to make it interesting, but you don't need to make up lies or even get too wordy. Okay, sometimes less is more. So I've seen really good lists that were almost poetic. Yeah. Now the second required essay, you need to choose one of 2. The first one is, when asked by your family, friends, and colleagues, why do you want to go to Duke? What do you tell them? Share the reasons that are most meaningful to you. Now, you need to show a sincere sense of excitement about Fuqua's MBA program. This is, you have to show genuine passion and enthusiasm. Your emotion needs to be sincere. The people who really do well on this are the ones that really want to go to Duke, because the answer comes from the heart. It's not coming from the head. Okay, you need to avoid the formal and rehearsed answers. It's those will be flagged. They'll know right away. They'll see right through you. There are factors that make up this connection, and if you really want to be at Duke, this is a whole lot easier. You need to show the love. This is like Tomorrowland tickets or World Cup finals for soccer aficionados. This is where you want to be, and you got to show it here in option number 1 of question 2. Now, option 2 here, they're asking if you were to receive an award for exemplifying one of the 6 principles that the community identified, then which one would it be and why? So if you take a look at the list, there are things like authentic engagement, supportive ambition, collective diversity, impactful stewardship, loyal community, and uncompromising integrity. Choose one of the 6. Now, these 6 answers should just reveal why Duke is your preference over any of the top MBA programs. Okay, this needs to be sincere. And, how does this principle pull you towards Duke rather than any other program? Because every school makes similar claims, but the idea here is to show how Duke gave you a more convincing feeling. How did they make this real for you? So for this option, definitely talk to alumni for deeper insights, and just know that Duke alumni are very passionate about the school, much more than many other schools out there. So if you can't show a genuine desire to be here, to be at Duke, then the alums will also see right through your answers. So find ways and reasons that will set apart Duke's principles from other top schools. This question is not really tricky as much as it just requires a deeper reflection on how any one of these principles hit home. Northwestern Kellogg. So this year, Kellogg's essay has only 2 required responses. Last year it was 3. A little bit about Kellogg, from what I know, is that if there are ever alumni who are willing to help you with anything you need, it's Kellogg alumni. There's a reason why that I've had 3 Kellogg students interviews already on this podcast. Kellogg is all about collaboration and helping your neighbor out. Let's take a look at the essay question. Question 1. What's the greatest obstacle you've overcome personally or professionally? And how has overcoming this obstacle prepared you to achieve success now and in the future? All right, they want to check how you've progressed in your professional career. And, you have the opportunity here to talk about challenges that you faced. You need to show deep motivation for self-improvement. They want to see your drive to become better. Kellogg specifically says that your story can be personal or professional. So you may want to get a work-related story, but you have to check the experiences in all aspects of your life. So pull out the most difficult obstacle story, be able to explain that, how you've overcome that obstacle. The key thing here actually is the second part of the question. It's how prepared do you think you are to achieve the success now and in the future? And you need to be able to show it, to prove it, to support it. You need to be able to specify key elements and difficulties of that challenge or obstacle, but then state how this obstacle tested you in a unique way and how has it prepared you for your future goals. Question number 2, what have been your most significant leadership experiences? What challenges did you face and what impact did you have? This is your opportunity to explain how you think bravely. You want to focus on no more than a couple of short stories. You need to be impactful as impactful as possible, and be specific. Okay, you don't line out 5-6 short stories. No, stick with 2 or 3 tops. Here also, you want to hit the situation, action, result outline, but you must be able to hit the think bravely part. Okay, this is what they're looking for. They want to see how you left your comfort zone. You went beyond what was expected or required of you in your responsibility, and how you challenged the status quo. You don't need to really say, I thought bravely when I did this. Okay, your story actually needs to automatically portray how you thought and acted bravely. All right, the key word here is influence. So interpersonal elements of your leadership is very important. So it's not necessarily your successful outcome, but showing how you were able to motivate or persuade others in that situation. Also include like lessons that you learned, your skills or your strengths were improved as a result of this difficult experience. Whenever you overcome a challenge, it's a great way to show, to reveal more about who you are. Question number 3 has 2 parts. Part 1 is, what career or role are you looking to pursue and why? You need to be extremely clear about your goals. It's the straight arrow. It's not easy. So some key tips here is to avoid like technical jargon, industry specific terms. Like you want to write this out as if you were explaining this to someone who's not from your industry. Show a clear arrow, a straight arrow to what you're looking for and why. When the reader, the admissions officer is reading this, one of the questions he will have in his mind is, how likely is the candidate able to achieve this? What's the likelihood? What's the feasibility? Don't be too far-fetched. Be clear about your goals. Now, part 2, why are Kellogg and the MBA essential to achieving these career goals? Now, this is a why Kellogg, it's like a post-MBA career goals and why Kellogg question mashed up into one. And it's a very similar question asked in the interview process. It would be where you see yourself in a few years, but why you need an MBA to get there. Actually, more specifically, why do you need a Kellogg MBA to get there? Kellogg needs to be the bridge between your past and your future. And that bridge needs to be solid. Okay, don't be generic. Be specific. Be very specific. And in order to be specific, you need to do your research. Talk to alumni, read up on alumni blogs, and reach out to Kellogg students because they will help you. Well, folks, I think that's about it for today. I really hope that some of these tips helped you guys out for writing out your application. And if you need to, this podcast is up 24/7. So just go back and get to the school of your choice and right away. And be sure to tune in next week. I'm going to talk about a few more other top schools, top MBA programs, and tips on how to approach their essay questions as well. Citizens of the Wire, thanks for listening in to yet another episode. This is Mateo Chang signing off. Have an awesome week.
Thanks for tuning into the MBA Wire. Would you like to know more? Visit us online at thembawire.com today and leave your questions and feedback. While you're there, sign up for an exclusive free audio series to help you strengthen your MBA interview. Thanks Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the MBA Wire.